Hi, it's Jay from Iridescent Tarot back with some more sparkle for you. Still wearing the same nail polish. This one had pretty good runway, so check my last few videos for details. And today's perfume is this Nemat International Amber. Still wearing that. So today's video is on fall decks. Now, I will give a disclaimer. Even though I love fall, it's not my aesthetic. So you're not gonna find anything that's like truly groundbreaking in this collection. It's just the things that if I had to pull decks that were very fall, that I do like, these are the ones. So my 10 fall decks, I also don't only use decks that have a fall vibe in the fall. Like I am happy to use all my other decks all different times of the year, pretty much. There's like very few exceptions to that, but if I had to choose ones that I think are specifically fall-like, these are them. Starting off strong with Folkloric Forest. I think that Folkloric Forest is the epitome of a fall deck. It's got a little bit of darkness to it. The colors are perfect for this time of year. The forest theming is spot on. I have waxed poetic many a time about this deck on my channel, so if you want to watch nearly a full hour of me gushing about it, just check out the Two of Moms Tarot episode on this deck. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Lennox Reese and her curated art decks. Into the Lonely Woods has that same like brownish, darker color scheme, and definitely has more of a melancholy feel for an oracle deck. But similar to the Reclaim Oracle, when this is what you need, this is what you need. It gives a vibe that none of my other oracle decks quite seem to capture, and it's perfect for being like a gentle companion for if you're going through a hard time. The next two are a pair that I will be moving along. I wanted to say one last final goodbye to Oak, Ash, and Thorn before I move it along. Again, this is a deck that I spent a week with for the Deck Connectors Club, Two of Moms Tarot, and ultimately decided that this deck is not for me. That being said, there are still many things that I love about it, or else I wouldn't have bought it in the first place. And I think that it has a very fall aesthetic, in the same vein as Folkloric Forest. And yeah, I do appreciate this deck. It's just not one that I will be keeping with me permanently. It's sad about it. Because I considered Oak, Ash, and Thorn and Woodland Wardens to be like a married set, when I decided that Oak, Ash, and Thorn was going to be leaving, I also decided that Woodland Wardens was going to be leaving. So I'm saying goodbye to this deck. Even so, I do think that it is a great fall deck. I try very hard to narrow my collection down to decks that I use a lot, and this is just one that without having Oak, Ash, and Thorn, I don't think that I'm going to be using as much as I need to in order to keep it. But it is very fall and cozy, and there's nothing like inherently wrong with it. It's just not for me permanently. One of the other decks that I mentioned in Deck Connectors Club is the Spread Machine Oracle, which I use all the time and really love. And I really don't give the expansion packs enough love. I don't use them that often, and I would like to kind of encourage myself to reach for them more. And one of the things that I felt like was a missed opportunity is that I've been going straight to Spread Machine when I could have been using the Spread Machine Quest to get a little bit more of a deeper fall-like color palette, and still benefiting from the Spread Machine functionality. So I think that I'm going to try to employ this specific deck a little bit more in the fall, because the color palette just lends itself to that. Part of me wonders if I reach for this less because it's in a tuck box and it's like in there tight, you know? The Lonely Dreamer Tarot. Yeah, this just screams fall to me. Like the darker jewel tones that Odilon Redon painted his artwork in really speak to autumn for me. This is one that can take me from fall into the winter, even end of winter into the beginning of spring. Yeah, I think this one's pretty versatile, but definitely has more of an autumn color palette. Now, if we don't focus on the color and we just look at the theming, the Boo Tarot has to be included. And this is just the cutest little deck ever. The holographic spot gloss ghosts, 10 out of 10, love. While ghost theming, Halloween theming, like, sure, I love that time of year. I think it's so fun, but like, this isn't something that I would typically go towards in like buying a specific deck for. I thought about this purchase for years and years and years and years before I actually bought it, and I'm just so happy to have this. So this is my little Halloween deck, and so it is one of my fall decks too. This is another set that I kind of think of together. So we've got the Roots and Wings Oracle. And I just think of Kat Ryle's artwork as earthy, and like, even though it's timeless, it also has a certain autumnal quality to it that I think works well with some of the decks that I've picked for this little collection. So I think this goes great with Folkloric Forest and The Lonely Dreamer, and pretty much any watercolor deck. So these are super versatile. Phases in Forest too. This one I tend to use a little bit more because it has a specific job to do in my collection, and that would be asking questions that my tarot can then answer. And so while I really like the overarching themes of Roots and Wings, I find that Phases in Forest gets a little bit more use for me. And I think with that brown edging, the backs, the way that it matches with other decks, it just goes with autumn decks for me. The last is a Moonflower Moments Made Me Do It deck. These are the Story Through Stone cards, which are rocks that were collected in Death Valley, and these weren't painted. These were just found this way, and you kind of look at them like they're Rorschach images and find things to intuit and interpret. I think it's just another one that with the dark orangey burnt umber coloring that just really goes well with the other fall decks. And to me, this one screams fall, but I also use this year round. Like, while I think it's fun to categorize our decks in that way, I try not to stick too much to limiting what I can use and when, because I don't want to be constrained in that way all the time. So yeah, those are 10 fall decks that I have, that I use. And even though I think that they're perfect for fall, I'll probably be using those sprinkled in with some of the other decks that I'm like super excited about right now. If you want to check out what those are, then take a look at my September favorites. And thank you for being here and watching. Please like and subscribe, drop me a comment and let me know what your favorite fall decks are. And I will talk to you later. Signing out.